Okay, so this video request, I because I intended to be doing some of this video requests or attending to some Pojo questions sent to me on live stream, but not been able to do that since yesterday or 2 days ago. So I'll just quickly run this one, record this video, and then post it. I think I have another one. I'll tweet that way. Hopefully by tomorrow, unless I'll resume my live stream. Now, this one reads, "Hello Ikenna, I would like to make a video request. Pan assembled Peugeot 406 that came with EW7J4 engine is upgraded to EW10J4. The brain box, that's the engine ECU, was also changed to that of EW10J4. Now we know the pan assembled Peugeot 406 do not have downstream oxygen sensors. They have upgraded the said Peugeot 406 to EW10J4 engine with EW10J4 ECU, probably from a fully used Fox Peugeot 406 containing downstream oxygen sensor. Now the question, what are the likely occurrences that will be happening if the introduced ECU is looking for downstream oxygen sensor but can't find it, based on it was installed on pan assembled Fox? Okay, how do I how do I address this now? Okay, see, let's start this way. If I were the one that did this conversion, it's like this question came late. You know, this was just supposed to have come before the conversion was done. If I'm the one that would, let's assume I was the one that did this conversion. What I would do is, I will put the engine, but before I do the engine, I'll give whoever that owns the car the estimate of what to do and what it will cost to properly do this conversion. It won't even stop on the engine and the ECU, it goes beyond that. But I'll come to the third one later. Now, it now depends on how much the person is willing to spend on this conversion to be able to enjoy the engine and the vehicle. Depending on it all depends on how much he's willing to spend. They will know which option will suit him best. Option 1, put the engine, get another engine, upgrade it to the 2.0 liter engine from 1.8. That is the EW7J for 1.8 liter petrol engine to 2.0 liter petrol engine EW10J4. You do the upgrading. Then the next thing is the engine wiring harness are the same, both engines, so you don't need to touch it. The second thing they'll do is the engine ECU. Now, option 1 on that engine ECU is you go and buy a brand new. That's what I'm saying. You go and buy a brand new engine ECU made for Peugeot 406 assembled in Nigeria by Pan Nigeria. Those ones that are brand, those ones don't have, as in they are programmed or designed not to work with downstream, or let's just say programmed not to work, or mapped not to work with downstream oxygen sensor. So all you need to do is buy it, program the ECU to synchronize with the BSI and the key, and that's all. It's generally just the key, no, the BSI unit. Then that's all you need to do. And how much does the new one cost? Last time I priced it, I think 100,000. Around that 100,000 to one something. Let's just say between 100 to 150,000. It could be less or something, but I know that's the usual or the average price. You know. So that's all. That's all you have needed to do on that part. Now the second option is this. The second option have some factors attached to it, or that led to this second option. Now, the second option, this car was produced by Pan Nigeria. What it means is this wiring system is CAN bus, well, partial CAN bus, not full one, but it's different from the earlier D9. In other words, the earlier 406 productions, or earlier phase 2 Peugeot 406. So, all, if not, well, you could still see, but generally, Peugeot 406 produced from 2002 2004 in Europe. They all have the downstream oxygen sensor with that engine, as far as that EW10E J4 engine, or just there, almost all of them, they all have that downstream oxygen sensor. Peugeot 406 produced from 2002 to 2004 in Europe, which is if you go to used parts market to look for ECU, those are the ones you find, not necessarily the ones produced in Nigeria. The ones you find are mostly from those ones from Europe. However, I've come across once a Peugeot 406 that was foreign production from foreign assembly, and I think it was either late 2001 or 2002 model, and it didn't have the downstream oxygen sensor. You have the downstream from factory. You have the downstream oxygen sensor. I think it was 2002, forgotten, or 2001, whatever. So it didn't have that one. Now that ECU can work with that of Pan assemble. However, those ECUs are hard to come by because of their BSI unit. Because you are not no longer buying old engine ECU, you are buying the complete kit. So because they are not that common, remember, I think from 2002 or thereabouts, Peugeot started implementing almost on all their cars the Euro 3 or Euro 4 system or something like that, as a whereby they have to, they must, I think it was the EU policy that all car manufacturers have to monitor, put a device or make their car to be able to monitor the catalytic converter and give the warning when it's bad. So that was when those things were introduced. So they started make it standard almost all Peugeot cars at that time. But like I said, I've come across one that does that. Maybe that one was designed or produced to be sold elsewhere where the EU policy was not, couldn't reach or whatever. So to me, it would be a fertile mission to start looking for such ECUs, knowing that out of the whole years I've come across I've been doing repairs and diagnosis on people's cars. It's the only one that I came across one that have it from 2002 upward. Now, like I said, that ECU and BSI can work with that of the Pan production, but the problem is you won't be able to get it. So the only option that you now have is to buy maybe that of the one foreign use that comes with what's it called? That works with downstream oxygen sensor. Foreign use, as long as it's from 2002, 2003 upward, they work with any Peugeot 406 produced or assembled in Nigeria with that engine. You don't need to worry about whether it's Pan or this thing. As long as it's that same engine, it will work with it. At least 2002 upward. But like I say, it depends on, let's just say from 2002 upward, yeah, you can, any BSI, this thing will work. They are CAN bus, they will work. So the easiest one to find will be the used one. And because by standard, they all work with downstream oxygen sensor, you will have to introduce that downstream oxygen sensor. However, they are not that cheap. The complete kit is about 70 to 80,000 naira. That's the kit, the engine ECU, the BSI unit, the key, costs it's about 70,000 to 80,000 naira, at least here in Abuja. I don't know about that. Or probably has even reached 90 or close to 100. I don't know. That's the last time I priced it was like 75,000 naira. So that's why I suggested the earlier one, the option one. When you consider the cost of the used kit, ECU kit, engine ECU kit, then you buy the oxygen sensor, downstream oxygen sensor. If you don't want the original one, may cost you close to 40,000 or thereabout or more. So you can decide to go for ordinary new one that works. It may not last, at least it works. You may get it less than 10,000 naira. Then you have to buy the thread from an old exhaust and give it a welder to weld. That one may cost you between 3,000 to 5,000 naira to do the welding job. Then you connect the sensor. You screw in the sensor behind the catalytic converter. Then connect it to, the plug already left on the wiring harness. So you find out that by the time you do all those things, it will even probably go beyond the 100,000 naira you would have spent in buying the ECU brand new and program it, and that's all, without doing any other thing. You won't do no construction, no nothing, no buying of any oxygen sensor. Just do it, program it, it start working as if the car originally came with that engine and without oxygen sensor. That's how it's going to be. Remember, it was produced for cars that don't work with the oxygen sensor, with CAN bus system, downstream oxygen sensor. So that would have been the best option. Now you might ask, okay, what about getting a second hand? Now this time around, second hand or used ECU kit removed from pan Peugeot 406 assembled in Nigeria with that engine. Don't even bother about it. Trust me. It is the best advice I ever give anybody. If you want to don't make that mistake. Most Peugeot 406 produced in Nigeria, their ECU have been messed up. So if you get to a point where they had to scrap the car, or consider that ECU must have gone through some hell. I'm not saying you can't come across, there's no exception in every rule. So yeah, you may, out of 20 or 50 ECUs, let's assume you go to a supermarket, out of the 50 ECUs there, removed from pan Nigeria as 406, or the 406 produced in Nigeria, they scrap them, remove the ECU and kept in the market to sell. Maybe out of those 50, only 1 or 2 might be good. The rest have issues, probably have problems. Even if the ECU don't have problem, maybe the BSI, in fact, most times it's even the BSI that will have the problem, not even the ECU. The BSI that comes with the kit. So don't even bother. So if you're buying that kind of thing, just go for used one. Because eventually they all cost the same amount. Yeah, what I mean is, if you are buying a used kit from a Nigerian assembled 406, in that case, you don't need to introduce the downstream oxygen sensor. But you are buying foreign one, then you are introducing the oxygen sensor. That's the downstream. So at the end of the day, you still find out that the option A makes more sense. Yeah, it will look, because it's more expensive. We are using, okay, it's like this. We are spending the money to buy 3 items. In fact, not 3 years, more like the money to buy about 4 or 5 items. You are using it to buy only 1 item. But remember, when you buy the other 4 items, a lot of things will change. If you want to, okay, you want the money to buy a lot of things rather than buy one thing, your VIN will change. Your access code will change. You have to do some construction on the exhaust. Do this, wear this, and even the sensor you buy, it's not even the main original, but it will work. If you want to buy original one, you are looking at additional 50,000 or 30, at least minimum of 30,000. Unless you want to buy a used one, I hope that it works. In that case, the used one may cost you about 5,000 naira or less, depending on, I don't know. I've never bought one. Or downstream or sensors. I've never bought a used one before. So there is around that price anyway. So You find out that it will just give you less headache. Buy a new one, program it. That's all. You don't need to do any other thing. In fact, within 30 minutes, your car is running and off you go. The other one, you buy a kit, put something, maybe the keys has a problem, or PSI has a problem, or the ECU has a problem, you return. You keep going back and forth until you get one that works. Then you go back and now start checking for the wires to connect the downstairs. So there's so many things involved. But these are your two options. Like I said, that's what I've done. I've given whoever that want to do this conversion these two options to choose from, which one that make more sense. If you now ask me to recommend one of the options, of course I will recommend the first option, because the second option too will also cost the same amount or even more of the option A, which is easier and make more sense, at least for me. And so that's by the way. Had it been this car we are talking about is maybe 2099, 2000 model, or early 2001 model, it's a different thing. I'll tell you, just go and look for a used ECU. Those ones, they will have one without downswing sensor. Those ones are easier to. Well, it depends on who is doing that, because you have to use a part number to find the one that doesn't work with downstream oxygen sensor. So that's how it is. As for okay, let me go to the third thing that I said that you need to do on this conversion. That third one is the braking system need to be upgraded as well. No, it doesn't just stop on the ECU. You do the engine, do the ECU, then upgrade the braking system. And that is the front brakes. That's where you upgrade. The one under your car, on the EW7J, the Peugeot 406 with EW7J4 has a very small brake disc, caliper and pad. Now you've introduced a bigger, heavier engine, which is more powerful than the other, which will make the car quicker. So you need a brake that will match the weight of the car, the extra weight of the car, and then the performance of or the engine, or you have to match something. That's why I said you need to upgrade the brake to that of the EW10J4. So in that case, suppose you still have something to do, your brake caliper has to go. Those two front brake calipers, they have to go. The EW10J4 is very common. You may not necessarily need to buy a new one. Get a very good used one. The brake disc, the two of them in the front has to go. Get the brake disc for the EW10J4. You can choose original new. Forget about ordinary new. Most of them they can actually put you in trouble on highway. So get either a original new one, or go for, if you can find a used one that is still in good condition. Foreign use, not Nigerian use. Even if it's Nigerian, make sure it's original, not a ordinary brand new one, but used in Nigeria and now sold as used. No, get original one, even if it's used. Then buy original pad. Buy original brake pad. Don't buy ordinary new pad. Buy original new one. If you can't afford it, maybe you can go for a used foreign one. But personally, I just go and get a brand new original brake pad. Don't joke with brakes. See, don't play with it. You may be driving inside town and you won't really feel it, because the car barely speed. Until you enter highway, push it, and then it becomes hot. You press the brake pedal, and you realize that you see your life ending before your face, because you want to save money, don't want to spend money. To you, brakes is a waste. Why would you waste money on a braking system? You see your life in your presence coming to an end because you want to use it. You don't feel like that brake matters. So please don't joke with brakes. Do your very best. On any car you have, make sure the brake is top notch. So you need to upgrade it. You've added a heavier, more powerful engine, so that your brakes need to match it. The one there does not match it. You have to upgrade it. The brake caliper, the brake disc, and the brake pads. These are the three things you need to change for the braking system upgrade. To complete the conversion, 3 things you need to do. So as for your questions about what other things you're saying, whether the ECU, what the consequences of the ECU that doesn't see the downstream oxygen sensor, since the one they put here requires it, or you said probably requires it, the one they put probably is requesting for the downstream oxygen, but it's not seeing any consequence of that. See, there's a way project cars will behave. Some EWT ECU might show you that downstream oxygen sensor is disconnected or have been disconnected to warn you. While some, the fault may come up on the what's it called, on the engine ECU, but it will not trigger check engine light. While some will trigger check engine light once it is connected. So by disconnection means it's not attached or it's not even on the vehicle. So it doesn't mean because it did not trigger check engine light that it will not affect the engine, the performance of the engine, or efficiency of the engine, or your fuel consumption. It depends. All these things, sometimes it depends on the ECU. Doesn't matter whether it's EWT. So there's some EWT engine, like I said, EWT engine fault that will trigger that warning, some will not trigger it. So they may react differently. It may make your engine high consumption to consume high. However, it shouldn't. Normal circumstances for Peugeot 406 without downstream oxygen sensor, it should not. But I wouldn't know the type of ECU they put there, so which may affect it, your engine performance, or may not. But if you are doing this kind of conversion, there's no how I will do it for you without getting it right. I would rather after doing it, making sure, because if I'm doing my conversion, I do it to at least to come close to 90%, 90 to 95% of the factory setting of that system, as if so that car will work as if the car originally came with that engine from brand new. That's how I do my things. I don't do things to cut corners, no matter the cost. So any customer or client that can't afford this can try somebody else. Because once you start doing, that's how abuse starts. You get this, before you know it, the car is dead. So you must get it right from day one. If the customer or client wants, when you now takes his car out, let him go and do it. He can go and chop off all those wires. It's no longer my business. But as long as it's still under my care, you have to be done the proper way, or I will not do it in the first place. Because I have my reputation to protect. Because the next thing is where your car lives, it should no longer be that it was your choice that you don't want to put that down. So you go and say, I didn't do it well. That's why you'll be telling the whole world. You won't bother to tell them, truly, you made that choice. But so your tone will not change that, the conversion was not done properly. I did the conversion, but it wasn't done properly. So I'll give you my standard. If you can't afford it, try somebody else. That's how I do. So personally, I wouldn't recommend running without that downstream oxygen sensor, whether it will have effect or not. Let it be exactly. I mean, if you are doing this kind of upgrade, you are doing it because you want to enjoy it, like the factory 406 that have that engine. So let you enjoy it. There's no need trying to cut corners to know whether the ECU will do this or not. You have to enjoy it. Even if eventually you realize it's not there, fine, you can choose not to change the sensor when it fails. But like I said, if you go for that option one, all these things, there wouldn't have been need to do all this explanation. Just buy a brand new ECU, spend about 10 to 20 minutes or less, do the programming to work with the BSI unit, and that's all. It's even better to buy a new ECU than to buy a used one. Unless maybe the BSI unit on the project car being discussed is faulty. Maybe you may be considering you use the opportunity to buy another ECU BS so that will come with BSI and the key. But if those things are intact, I wouldn't bother to go and change, because once you buy another ECU kit, use one, the VIN will change, that vehicle VIN and the vehicle identification number will change, the access code will change. So I mean, that would have been the best option. I wanted to recommend. The second one is, well, we're all different. We can't make the same choice. But at least these two options, the only thing I'll go for. So you know I have it. It's up to you. The consequences to me is not that level. Okay, you could find out. Use the car. If after 2 weeks and you feel that the power of the car truly is reflecting the upgrade, that I didn't feel any loss of power, or that it's not behaving like the old one you changed, because it's supposed to be a difference between the 2.0 and 1.8. So if you're not feeling that difference, then it means you need to complete the conversion. Because right now you've not. If you are feeling that high power and the fuel consumption has improved and this and that, maybe it's up to you what you do, But like I say, if you have that, if your catalytic converter is there, but seriously, if the catalytic converter is there, why not just put that sensor to be checking it? Because the sensor, the work of it is to monitor it. When it's bad, it will tell you. Rather than if without the sensor, you know it's bad. It means you now have to physically or find another way to diagnose to know if the catalytic converter is the cause of the problem you are having. Anytime a problem comes up, it has to now be diagnosed separately. Unlike if the sensor is there, all you need to do is scan the vehicle to tell you whether your catalyst is good or not. So I hope this helps. If it doesn't help, well, I don't know. That's the best I can do. Alright, that's all for this video.